Previously.
I've not even picked mine yet. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Probably something boring, historic. The Tower of London or something like that. Tower of London, Tower of London, Tower of London, Tower of London.
Hello, welcome to the most dangerous podcast. How are you over there, James?
I'm good. We're back. We're back to our usual Thursday. I've not been out schmoozing in the pub, so I'm good. I'm all right this week. I've been busy, actually.
Yeah, so have I. Go on, tell me, what have you been doing?
Well, the ghost hunt.
Oh, the ghost hunt, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it seems like ages ago because it was last Friday, and that's why we couldn't do the Friday.
Yes.
So I went to, it was a place called Parsonage Gardens in Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just one of those ghost nights. But it's not like, you know, where you kind of sit around and talk. It was like they had like proper mediums there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they had all the devices, the REM pods and the little flickery things, you know, the Ghostbuster things and all that. And it was good. Yeah, it was really good. Like, do you know, it was a really good atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because like it was just a mixture of people, and like you got in there and it was like, well, who believes in ghosts? And then half the people put their hand up. Who's not sure? Most of the other people. And like, who's a complete skeptic? Me. Like, oh, really? Yeah. And blah, blah, blah.
Exit that way.
Yeah, they're really cool people. And then, you know, obviously then that sparks conversation with people and stuff. And yeah, and then like me being an arsehole, because I am. Because I like to get involved. You know, you pay money to go and to do these things, and you have the people sitting there like not saying anything, and like immediately I'm like, well, can you explain to me exactly what a medium is and how you become one, and you know, just being an ass. But they were really cool and really engaged, and I think they enjoyed that. You know, they wanted people to take part. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the night, you've seen it all on YouTube. If you watch these sort of weird things, and what was it called, Most Haunted and stuff, it's basically you just wander around. It's like a big sort of old building, not massive, but it's a decent size. You go into a room, you turn the lights off, and then you just basically go like, is anybody there who wants to speak to us? Yeah. And then like, you know, nothing happens for a while. And then like there'll be like a knock. Yeah. And then someone will go, oh, sorry, that was me. You know, so yeah, it was good. It went on for a while. It was like from 9 o'clock till 3 a.m.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a good stint. But I mean, there was one particular, so we went into this one particular room.
Yeah.
Apparently this lady called Mary was like a scorned lover, and she threw herself down the stairs. So this is a room, a doorway, and then stairs as you come up the doorway. And apparently she threw herself down the stairs and committed suicide.
Right.
And we were in that room, and then this sort of medium guy was like, Mary, you here with us? And they try and encourage you to get involved. Mm-hmm. Like I then went, hello Mary, would you like to talk to us? And the lights flickered on the thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then we were sat right by like this window, and then I was just chatting. I was like, oh Mary, would you like me to open the window for you? Would you? It was like had shutters on it. So open the window so you can see the stars, and started flickering and stuff like that. And the mediums were like, oh yeah, I can feel a presence behind you. She likes you. No, this. I was like, okay. He's like, why don't you try flirting with her, James? I was like, I can't do that in real life. Never mind to a ghost. Like, you know? So a ghost called Mary fancies me apparently.
Wicked. Yeah.
And then we just got on with it. It was good. It was, like I say, it was a really good atmosphere. Yeah. I do recommend anyone that comes across these sort of things, even if you don't believe in all that nonsense. Yeah. Do go, because it's good. A funny thing was though, there was like a Chinese guy there.
Right.
And
Where's this going?
Well, he turned up. He didn't really sort of say anything while he was there. And then we discovered, like, as the night went on, he couldn't speak a word of English.
Oh, really?
Like, he was maybe a tourist or maybe a student or something. Like, but we were like, oh, where are you from? He's like, oh. Like the motorway, and stuff like that. And then I was talking to like my partner like afterwards. We were like, how the fuck did he get there? Like, did he go to the wrong place? Like, how did he? Because if he can't speak English, I can't imagine he can read it that well. Like, did his mates go, "Well, we'll meet you there. See you in a bit." He just kind of
Like, what did he get out of it? You know, he wouldn't have understood.
I don't know. Like, fair play to him for going, but I just don't understand how he managed to be there. But anyway, that's by the by. He was a nice fella, kind of.
But,
As we kind of got through the language barrier, you know, like these sort of size. He was a nice fella and stuff, but yes, he's like Salford, and no, this is Didsbury, mate. But yeah, it was a good night. I recommend it.
It's like Only Fools and Horses, Gary. He just says Gary the whole time.
yeah.
His name's Gary.
It was just really bizarre because I just don't understand how he even managed to turn up or just be there that particular time. Maybe he was a ghost, who knows.
But this is just obviously off the cuff. When you say about how did he get there, did you know my dad, when he had his brain tumour and he lived up in Glasgow for a year because he just wanted to be up there and be closer to, I don't know, just to be up in Glasgow.
To where he wanted to be, yeah. Why not?
Yeah. And he went, he was, you remember my dad, he was a stubborn fucker and he would just like, I'm going out on my own. Like, not meant to be on your own. I'm going out on my own. I'm going to see this. He bought a ticket to go and see some classical show. Now, Glasgow, like big cultural cities, has got about 10 theatres,
Mm.
And he actually got into this theatre, right? He had a ticket for, say Beethoven Classics at the Royal Opera House in Glasgow or something like that. And he was in like the King's Theatre or something in a completely different theatre, sat down, right? And this like band come on. Now my dad he couldn't, he struggled to talk then, so he didn't know who it was. But he said, "Oh, some noisy band." It was probably like 9 Inch Nails or something came on the stage and was playing. So he had to go and see someone. He was the wrong end of Glasgow, and when he explained to them that he's terminally ill and stuff, they got a driver for him and took him to the right theatre and made sure he got in and everything.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But you wonder how he got in through the door with a ticket and got to a seat.
Oh, God. Yeah. Who knows?
In the wrong theatre in the wrong show.
Yeah. I think I kind of like, the older I get, the more I appreciate the stubbornness. Like sometimes I'll just go out sometimes. Don't even tell anyone. Just go for a wander.
Aye, I know. That's it. I think you start to realise that I think you've got to help people and be a good person, but you've also got to be a little bit selfish at times and do things for yourself.
Yeah, of course.
As long as it's not hurting anyone, you think, fuck yeah, I'm going to go and do this. I do very little that I enjoy. That sounds terrible, but you're always busy and you're dealing. I enjoy my kids, but you're always cleaning, looking after your kids and stuff like that. And sometimes you got to say, I want to do something for myself.
Yeah. Like a lot of the time, the kids isn't enjoyable because they're like, I don't want to go for a shower. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But then, you do have those enjoyable moments. But I think they are few and far between. But anyway, we're going off on a tangent. I'm sure you've got some stories for this week.
I've got a couple more tangents. So the cheer competition last weekend.
Of course, yeah. Another reason why we couldn't do the Friday.
Yes. Won't bore you with it, but they did really well. Madison Aaron's cheer group came second to a team that compete globally. They go to like world finals. Aaron's dance team, same thing, second to world final team. Aaron won her solo and Mara's cheer team won, so they all did really well.
Wonderful. Good news.
That's boring. So we were in a pub the middle night, the Saturday night. We went to Harvester and met all the people that we were there with. There were 38 of us. We'd booked the table. And so Laura was off talking to someone. It was just me and Teddy at we had just a little table of 4. Laura, Teddy and myself. And Teddy came over to me. He's like, Daddy, come here. Right, okay. So I stood up and he took me by the hand and started leading me through this Harvester pub. But he was dead serious, dead focused. Fucking this way, Daddy. Come on, this way. Fucking hurry up. And he took me by it, and we got to like a fruit machine in the pub bit. And there were 3 guys standing there, and I'm going to have to be really sensitive about this. One of them was massively overweight.
Yeah.
Right, like
proper
like Disney World, Florida, overweight. Wearing like kind of like basketball shorts and like a kind of American sports top, right? Massive. Teddy walks right up to the guy and presents him, went, Daddy, look at this big fat man right in front of him. The guy just was holding his pint and went, what the fuck did he say? And I lifted him and was like, sorry, Teddy, come. Under my arm, just ran back to my seat, sat down, fucking menu up in front of me.
Whereabouts was it?
Whereabouts?
What part of the world?
Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke. Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So, but he just presented him. Look at this big fat man. Because kids, they don't have a filter.
Yeah, it's great though. I like that. You kind of they get away with it so much.
Yeah. So another thing, fitness-wise, I've been moaning about being ill. I had that steroid injection last week. I've been feeling quite good. So I joined the gym and started swimming.
Oh, did you? That's
so
a good idea.
Getting up, going swimming before I go to work. That's been brilliant.
I didn't think you went to work though. Do you go to work? Do you have a place of work?
I don't have a place. My place of work is in other people's houses. So
right. Okay.
I'll either be out fitting shutters or doing a measure or something.
I see.
Like
right.
that.
Yeah. You see.
So basically, because of that, I've just said to Laura, "Look, I start work at 10 now. I'll just say to people, I'll be there at 10, and I'll go swimming for."
Yeah, like when I don't do appointments now anymore, but I used to meet clients, like, and my secretary, when I used to have a secretary back in the day, she used to be like, "Oh well, such and such is phone. They want an appointment with you. What time shall I book them in for?" And it was always 10. Yeah. And my excuse was, well, anything could happen. The car could break down, or I might be sick that day. Well, so it's best not to do 9 because then you've got an hour to kind of get it together and say, well, he can't make it. It's purely because 9 times out of 10 rock up hungover in the morning.
But yeah, you do. You need to get in, have a brew, see what your messages are, things like that.
Because 9 o'clock is the start time. If you have an appointment at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then your start time's 8:30, isn't it? Because, like you say, you need to get in, check your emails, do your shit and shite. So, 9 o'clock appointments, no way.
Exactly, that shit and shite. Because, sometimes you get into work 10 minutes in, you think, this
is the perfect time on company time. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Someone worked out that if you went for a poo in work once a day, how many days a year you would actually be paid for just
accumulate,
which I thought was quite clever.
Well, so I'm like, my work at the moment is quite strict. It's really it's not good. It's that kind of really kind of like, oh well, you must be at your desk at 9 o'clock. You must be logged in. Blah blah. Blah. Yeah. Now you're not supposed to go for a little cig break, but I don't have a vape break as I do, but I do because I don't care. So at a certain point of the day, I'll walk downstairs and go out and have a quick sneaky vape break. Yeah. And I think to myself, if anyone pulls me up and says, "Where have you been?" I'm just going to go, "Well, I've just been for a shit, actually. You don't mind. None of it's any of your business." Because it takes the same amount of time.
I don't think they could. If you're doing your job well, they couldn't sack you for going for a quick cig break. Surely,
that's debatable as well. But never mind.
But a good friend of ours, and he's guested on the show, Tyler, works from home. But one of the directors of the company lives in the house across the road.
Oh, no. Never pull a sickie.
Yeah, he's just he's got to be, and his office faces the road. So if he's not at his desk, his email goes, bing, why?
I can't see you.
He's like, this is harassment. Got it. My last very quick rant. You're a driver, but I don't think you drive like I do, all day, every day.
Not 50,000 miles a year. We had actually we had someone come into the back of us last week.
Really?
Week. Yeah.
Oh, wicked. You get a claim out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, were all of you in the car? And
no, it was my partner. She was driving to work, stationary on a junction for about 2 minutes, and someone bang.
It's happened to me a couple of times. That
on the phone, I think. Not my partner, the other person. Clearly not paying attention.
It happened to me the other day, and this has happened to me plenty of times. When you go into a petrol station, one of the ones where you can't get out of the pump until the car in front moves.
Yeah.
So it's 2 pumps. I filled up. They filled up. I went in, paid for my petrol, came back, sat in the car, and they did their fucking weekly shop in the garage. That does my head in. If you go in to buy a shitload of stuff in the garage, pay for your petrol, move your car, and then go in and do your
there's space to move it to. Yeah,
they had a proper full basket of stuff, and I'm like, I need to get to this next customer, and I'm sitting here while you pick what kind of fucking beans you want and stuff like that.
What's your
Just
favourite
move away.
Getting your favourite monster drink and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
bastards.
I think if you move it and then go back in, it's a good call.
So
Anyway,
that's it. That's my week.
Yeah,
And,
15 minutes of absolute nonsense for everyone who's still here.
Well-
I'm sure everybody wanted to hear that. So we've got an episode to do.
Yeah,
we best get cracking.
The reason I wanted to put 15 minutes in is, unfortunately, I've got a very boring episode for you tonight. Really
Okay.
boring. We're going to do the Tower of London.
I think I called this one out, didn't I, a few weeks back?
Yeah,
Oops.
you did. But I'd already picked it and had my heart set on it by then, because it's not just the Tower of London, James. We're going to talk about the Tower of London and its 13 ghosts.
Oh, right. Okay. So this could be more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean it's not, but we'll try.
We'll try our best. We'll try our best.
So, James, it's the Tower of London. Have you been and seen the Tower of London in real life?
Not been, I've seen it.
Yeah.
There's a tube station right outside it, isn't there? If I
yes,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
That's how I saw it as well. There's the Tower of London in there. That costs money to get inside, so we'll just stand and look at it from here. There's like a wall. There's like a high street that you can sort of look down onto, isn't there?
It's on like a sort of mound, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of, there's like a grassy mound, and then there's the walls. But yeah, I've not ever been in it. I mean, stuff like that I do like, but it's always so touristy. That's where everyone goes, isn't it? Like, you go to London on a holiday, go there because that's one of the things. And I prefer sort of quieter places when I go and visit things. Anyway.
One of the problems is when Laura and myself get away, it's 2 nights, and if you went to the Tower of London, that's your day. Really, that's most of it. So we kind of go like off the tube. There's the Tower of London. That's lovely. Back on the tube. Right, there's Buckingham Palace. That's lovely. We haven't got the time to spend going round them all.
What we tend to do is when we go on weekends away and stuff is like, there's the Tower of London, but we're hungry and want a drink, and there's a bar just over there, so let's go in there instead. So that's what we tend to do.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
But the first thing I noticed is not a tower. I was when I grew up, the Tower of London, I was I got there. Where is it? I actually, when I was little, I thought the Tower of London was Tower Bridge, the one that opens.
Oh right, yeah.
I thought the 2 towers and that was the Tower of London.
Because that's not London Bridge, is it? London Bridge is a different one.
London Bridge is just a really boring bridge.
Old boring bridge, yeah.
But apparently, London Bridge itself it's been a different bridge loads of times. London Bridge is like where the first bridge was built.
Yeah, it's like the oldest one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, but the one that's there is not that old. It's like it kept falling down. They build a new one, and
like the song.
Yeah, like the song. Yeah, because apparently there was one stage London Bridge had like shops and all sorts on it. It was like a proper big
like
bridge
arcade type thing.
Yeah. Like that services in the M6 that's got a KFC in it.
Yeah. That's a good one, that.
So the Tower of London, do you know it was built almost 1,000 years ago?
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's impressive, yeah.
Yeah, in Glasgow there's houses that were built in the 60s that they've torn down.
Yeah, tower blocks, they're blowing them up.
I know. So 1,000 years ago, and it was built for William the Conqueror. So in 1066, that's how it's nearly 1,000 years ago. So 2066.
So was it his castle then?
It wasn't his castle. So William the Conqueror. No, it was basically William the Conqueror when he conquered it was Battle of Hastings, wasn't it? And they took over. So they were like the new royal family. I can't remember who they killed, who they got rid of. It was the old monarch. And William the Conqueror.
Was it Edward or something?
Edward VI, was it?
No.
It was before that.
Yeah. So you got Harold, King Harold, was it? Arrow in the eye?
Possibly.
Don't know my history.
So when William the Conqueror took over, not enough people took him serious. So he built the Tower of London basically as a flex to say, this is my fortress.
Right.
Basically, if you piss me off, we'll take you in there and batter you. If you try and attack London, we'll all go in there and we'll be fine. So it wasn't so much like his palace; it was like his fortress sort of thing.
I see.
And when it was first built, it was just that middle bit, and that's why it was called the tower, because it's like a tower.
Makes more sense. And
Yeah.
they've just added extensions.
That's it. So yeah, like you said, over the years, other monarchs that have been in charge have just added bits. There's actually, I think there's 14 towers now that all do different.
And only
things.
13 ghosts.
And only 13 ghosts. Yeah.
So the
They need one.
14th needs an extra ghost. Yeah.
So another thing, I mean, the Tower of London nowadays holds the crown jewels, doesn't it? I want to say the Queen. She was round for so long of her life. It's not. It's King Charles.
So don't cry about it. We know you love the royal family.
I wasn't that harsh, to be honest, but I think it's just you get so used to something, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder how long the King's going to be around for.
He's not well, is he?
He's not too well at the moment, is he? No.
You would be. I mean, he spent his whole life thinking one day I'm going to be king, and she just like clung on for so long, and it was like
2 years later, it's like, well, you know, you get it on a bit now. Like, fuck you know.
Yeah, give it all you may go. So it holds the crown jewels, and it holds some of the gold reserves are in there, aren't they?
Are they? I don't know
Pretty
anything about it. I know it's got like the crown in it.
Yeah, the crown
they have
jewels
on the coronation, and they do on the robes and stuff, and that's worth an absolute fortune. And that's about it. I know that they imprisoned some people in there back in the day, and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really know anything about it. So tell me more.
Interesting fact. You know gold, the metal, gold, precious metal.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I don't have any, but yeah.
If you took all the gold in the world and put it into one big cube, so every bit of gold that's ever been found in the world, right? Jewellery, everything, in one cube, it wouldn't be any bigger than an average 3-bed detached house.
Really? That's why it's so expensive then, I guess.
But that's mental.
Yeah, supply.
I feel like it would be a bit bigger than that, but yeah.
Well, there's a lot of gold in the world, you think, don't you?
I know, yeah. Well, things like Tutankhamun's mask and the bullion reserves and stuff. So, another fact about the Tower of London: did you know that for 600 years it was also a zoo?
A zoo, you say? So was this in the earlier years or the later years?
It was in the earlier years. So basically, they got rid of the zoo in the 1800s, and it had a zoo for 600 years. So from the 1200s to the 1800s.
Wow!
And basically, what it was the sort of monarchs from country to country loved to send each other gifts, extravagant gifts, and one of the first gifts that was sent over was 3 lions.
Yeah. Oh, for God's sake!
Yeah.
What are we going to do with these?
3. Go and open that box and see what's in it. So they used a bit of the Tower of London as a menagerie of animals.
Just where to put them.
Yeah, big brown bears, lions. They had all sorts in there until the 1800s when they just this is fucking hassle.
Yeah,
and
shot.
No, the animals that were left were relocated to basically start London Zoo.
Oh right, I see. Okay,
so
that's better. Better than my version of events.
Yeah, some of them were shot.
the naughty ones, the monkeys. Just to be clear, there, no monkeys were shot when they.
No monkeys were shot
from Tower of London. Just in case we get into any trouble there.
Yeah, I'm making quite a lot of this up, so I'll just put a disclaimer in that,
What, the zoo bit?
No, the whole thing. No, the zoo, it's all true. It is all true. But I couldn't say that every, single year that I say is going to be exactly accurate. But
right, okay. Well, let's give it some artistic license, shall we?
Yes. So the reason we're talking about the Tower of London is obviously a lot of horrible things went on in there. There was a lot of torture, a lot of high-profile executions happened at the Tower of London. High-profile prisoners, people that were, usually to do with treason, stuff like that. People, some of the high-profile Guy Fawkes went to the Tower of London to be tortured. He was in there.
It's almost like kind of a privilege type thing, isn't it? Kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah, put me in the Tower of London, mate. Yeah, where do you go? Strange ways. Where do you go? Tower of London.
Yeah, proper criminal. Yeah, someone that's really fucked up. Sir Walter Raleigh was in there. Anne Boleyn.
So Walter Raleigh.
Yeah,
Didn't he introduce potatoes or something?
I think so. Yeah.
So what did he do? You don't know, do you?
No, I don't know.
Why was he in there?
He'd been naughty.
He was a gift from another prince far away.
Should I look it up?
Yeah, go on, tell me. I mean, I thought he was a good person.
Doesn't actually say.
I don't think he was in the Tower of London.
He was.
Sorry. Why? Because Google said so. ChatGPT.
No. Raleigh remained imprisoned in the tower until 16. Oh, in prison in the tower.
Yeah.
Sorry
held
about
prisoner for 13 years.
He was involved in the plot against Queen Elizabeth's successor, James I. Wasn't he the Scottish king that came down? When Elizabeth died, James I took over, and there were people that didn't like it because wasn't he Scottish?
It's too much history for me, this.
Yeah.
Who was the one that got executed? Oh, Charles, wasn't it? Charles I.
Yeah.
Charles II. I don't know. James I.
Yeah, Charles III now, isn't it?
Yeah. Charles. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, James I was a Scottish fella, I think.
I think he was King of Scotland and he took over as King of Britain when Elizabeth died.
Right, and he didn't like that.
People had a plot against it. So ask me again what Sir Walter Raleigh did.
No, I'm not going to do that. You have to keep all that
in. He was naughty, yeah, basically. He was
treason
involved in a plot against James I. So the Tower of London basically had quite a few kind of horrible executions. Should we talk about some of the ghosts?
Let's do it. Let's do the ghosts. Yeah.
Okay, so the Tower's 13 ghosts. We have actually mentioned some of them already, but the first one that we're going to talk about is Anne Boleyn.
Oh, right.
Do you remember her from year 4 geography, history?
Did she lose her head?
She did. She was his second wife, and she had her head cut off. And for some reason, I think she requested it, that it wasn't done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right.
She requested that it wasn't done with an executioner, a hooded executioner with an axe. It was to be done with a swordsman with a silver sword.
Oh, right, okay.
To give her respect that she was the queen and the king's wife. Well, not to be.
I mean, there's a few things about that. Did she? Because usually, I think when they execute people, they put hoods on them.
Yes, yeah, she didn't.
Refused a hood, I think, or
That's
something
right.
like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just to be done with a little bit more dignity, so not treated like you're just a prisoner. Here's your hood. There's the axeman. Chop your head off.
Yeah. How much dignity did she have when she pissed and shit herself after her head had been cut off?
Not a lot. So she has. She was executed in 1536, and her ghost is believed to be seen wandering around the site of the execution with her head under her arm.
Head up, the old famous head under the arm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So Anne Boleyn.
Hang on a minute, right? See, this is where I have a problem with ghosts. What do you mean, a head under her arm? At what point did she ever have her head under her arm?
Yeah, I know. It's mental, isn't it?
You know, as a ghost, did she pick the head up? Ghostly head? You know. I think that's mine. I'll just carry on walking around here for the next 500, 600 years.
I about a couple of years ago, I ruined Maddie and Aaron's lives by basically they were talking about, I'm not really a believer in religion or anything, and they were talking about heaven. They were like, what is heaven? Like if you die and you go up and you get to see all your family and your friends and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but at what stage are you at? So my great granny died at 100, but I only remember her as an old woman. But she wouldn't want to be in heaven as an old woman. Yeah. She'd want to be young again. But if I then die and go to heaven and she's there and she's young again, she wouldn't be the person that I knew. So do you all get your own heaven where the people are there like they were when you remember them?
Too deep for this podcast.
Or is it,
you've barely researched the Tower of London. Let's not go down this rabbit hole.
But it's just in the point you made. Like, if you're going to be a ghost wandering about with your head under your arm,
put your head on.
Ghost, put it back on. You can do
fine.
anything.
Yeah.
You can go through a keyhole, but you can't put your head back on.
Yeah, weird.
Anyway, so Anne Boleyn's one of the most commonly seen ghosts. The second one, have you heard of a Lady Jane Grey?
I have actually, yeah. The Grey Lady? No, that'd be too obvious.
She was known as the 9 Days Queen.
Lady Grey, yeah. I reckon that I've heard of her before. I don't know where, but yeah.
Basically, she became queen in 1554 at the age of 16. But her throne was basically overthrown. She was the last sort of survivor of her family. So other people basically were like, no, you're not going to be queen.
Whoop.
Yeah, so they fuzzed her off the throne, stuck her in the tower, and then they were like, we just need to kill her because basically she's got this claim to the throne.
It's weird.
So as a 16-year-old, she was taken out with a black hood over in the tower, out to the courtyard, head chopped off with the axe.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound tragic, that, but 16 back in them days was like 45, wasn't it? Because they lived till about,
wasn't it? Yeah.
about 30.
So her ghost is quite commonly seen on the Tower Green where she was executed. The worst execution that I read about was a lady called Margaret Pole. And her execution was so brutal and clumsy that
I've heard of this.
Her ghost actually reenacts the execution.
It was a botched job, wasn't it? They couldn't get the head off or something like that.
Yeah, she moved just before the axe came down and it chopped into her shoulder.
Right.
And she got up screaming and ran about with her arm hanging off. And basically the axeman was chasing her, like chopping into her until he got enough and she went down and he just chopped her up until she was dead.
Try to go and watch a lovely execution today, kids.
It's like on the Green Mile where they don't put the water on the sponge and it just all goes completely wrong.
Reminds me of that. I mean, it's funny. It's mad that they were like public as well. Well, a lot of them were, weren't they?
Yeah, you could
go and have a gan at someone getting their head cut off.
It's mental, isn't it?
I mean, well, I suppose they didn't have tellies, did they? So
no. The old French method was better, wasn't it? The old guillotine.
Guillotine, yeah.
It's a bit more fail-safe.
I guess so.
But, I don't know. Probably best that we don't do public executions these days.
It's a job, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Would you go?
Would I go?
Yeah. What if it was like a real bastard? Someone,
It's hard to say, isn't it? If I had a time machine, would you go and watch one? Nah, I think it'd fuck you up too much. I think it really mess you up.
I think if you had a time machine, though, you'd be just going and repeating something that's already happened.
I know,
so it wouldn't be as bad as seeing one in the present.
No, but you would be there, though, wouldn't you? But nah, it messed me up too much. That
it's
grim,
isn't it?
Yeah, we couldn't do that.
But this was a time that we talked about in the plague. People were sticking bodies on carts because they were in the way and stuff like that. So it was a different world, wasn't it? People died a lot more, and people had grim things go wrong with them and stuff. That we're a lot more sensitive, aren't we? To
I guess so, yeah.
Things.
Maybe different time, different world. But I wonder if like people in like 200 years' time will look back and go, "Fucking double glazing! They only had double glazing." Like mad stuff like that.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? I was I've started watching the IT Crowd because you told me to.
Oh yeah, it's good, isn't it?
And it's I'm in like season 3 already. It's quite good. But even I don't feel like the IT Crowd was on that long ago. But like the technology in it's awful.
yeah.
It's
the
like
old monitors, like not even flat screen monitors. I don't think.
It's like even like Madison's 16, and she's like, "You got loads of photos of Teddy. How come you don't have loads of photos of me?" And when she was born, wasn't that long ago? You didn't really have camera phones. Not like you do now.
Not good quality ones. It weren't like HD. 1080p pixel, whatever. Like it was like those grainy kind of Nokias.
Yeah,
couldn't really see much on here.
So you had to go and get the camera out to take a picture of them. So
yeah,
it's just how things have changed. Another ghost, Henry VI, who was murdered in 1471 whilst praying in the Wakefield Tower. His ghost's often seen in prayer, especially on the anniversary of his death. So you need to find out when that is if you want to go and see his ghost. Another grim story, the princes in the tower. So Edward
this
V,
one.
yeah,
The two young boys, yeah.
Two young boys, Edward V and his brother Richard, they disappeared in 1483. It says likely murdered in the tower, but when I read into this, that years and years later they found their skeletons in the walls.
No, well, they found some skeletons.
They found some. Did they not basically work out it was them?
No, it's probably, but they found some skeletons. Yeah, so nobody knows what happened to them.
Yeah, don't think they were going down a secret passage and died, or
I think they were probably murdered, because I think it was another case of they had like succession rights,
right?
So they just needed to get rid of them,
yeah.
So that whoever was claiming the throne at the time, would say, "Well, don't know where they've gone. It must be mine now." So I think that was the case with that one.
So apparently their ghosts are seen in the room that they went missing, basically just standing holding hands.
Sad, isn't it? They were young then, weren't they?
They were, but like I said, it was like life was so much more disposable back then.
Yeah,
weird, wasn't it?
I mean, we're talking
traumatic.
I did I read a book recently about sort of medieval life and stuff. It was quite interesting. I don't read stuff like that very often, and like nobility. Not like peasant. The peasants and peasantry was different, because basically when you're 5, you can pick up a spade. You're working.
Right.
Whereas like nobility, you would have a childhood, but that childhood was essentially end at like 7, and then from 7 you'd start learning the ropes about like how to act around nobility and kings, and then when you get to the age of sort of like 14, that's when you start to train with your swords and go into battle and things like that. So yeah. There was such a thing as a childhood back in them days, but it was until around about the age of 7 or so. For rich people. Poor people didn't have a childhood.
It's frightening. And I mean, like even the rich girls were like, not sold off, but literally, you're getting married to that 45-year-old man over there.
Well, it's all politics, because that old bloke over there is the king of Denmark. Look, I know that you're 12.
Yeah.
But if you marry that 45-year-old bloke, then that means we've got an alliance with Denmark. That means they won't attack us with their boats. And if there is a war with France, Denmark will help us. So on your way, love.
It's mental,
shit like
isn't
that.
it?
Mad, yeah.
But like, you've got to think about, like, I mean, you've got 2 daughters. Imagine sending one of them off. There you go. So that, you know, we don't get in a fight with Denmark. Yeah, I know. I mean, sometimes I could send them off, but like. So another one, we got the White Lady, an unidentified noblewoman often seen waving from a window in the White Tower. See, they've all got their own tower.
Yeah.
Her presence is accompanied by an overwhelming smell of cheap perfume.
Cheap. Oh. But you know.
Did you get like expensive and cheap perfume back then?
Different things that you could put into perfume to make it smell. We've got every single spice and resource to make the best smelling thing in the world, like we could imagine at the moment. Whereas then it was like, well, we've got some cinnamon, honey, and dung.
But what she had was a Sprite bottle with water and a load of flower petals in it that you'd just been shook up. Remember that?
Yeah.
I've made you perfume, Mum. I'm fucking like a dead earwig in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, yeah. So we mentioned him before. We got Sir Walter Raleigh, his ghosts often seen in the Bloody Tower, pacing about, looking like he's deep in thought, wondering about why he's dead.
Yeah, he was a big thinker there, wasn't he?
Yeah, so as we know. But as we know, he was imprisoned and executed for his treason against James I.
Yeah.
So Sir Walter Raleigh seen wandering about, and Guy Fawkes, we mentioned him earlier.
He's in there, is he?
He's in there. His ghost knocks about.
That's funny because he's in York as well.
Is he? Well, apparently, Guy Fawkes, you don't see. Guy Fawkes was tortured in there. Guy Fawkes was tortured in there. So apparently,
Right.
from the room where he was tortured, you can hear his wails and his screams. And
Right.
stuff
For
like
anyone
that.
who doesn't get that reference, I can't be bothered going into it. Look it up.
We have fireworks because of Guy Fawkes. Well, we
Yes.
don't actually. The Chinese had fireworks years before that.
No, we
But-
celebrate on the 5th of November every year. We traditionally set off fireworks to celebrate a failed plot by Guy Fawkes to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, that, isn't it?
Well, I used to think it was like kind of like people celebrating like that he nearly done it, but apparently it's not. It's because he didn't do it. So it's a very weird sort of British thing where
Yeah, we blow something up to celebrate someone not blowing something up.
Something up. Yeah, very odd.
Yeah. A chap called Thomas Becket, who died long before the tower's expansion, but
Yeah,
legends say
Heard of him.
his ghost appeared when a new building was being constructed. And I believe, and I've read about this is one that you could probably read into a bit more on its own, but apparently there was a wall and they kept building the wall, and the wall kept like just blowing up, smashing back down again. And people had visions of this ghost, this Thomas Becket, holding a cross, and the cross would like he'd go boom and like smash the wall down with his little cross.
Okay, was he Archbishop or something?
I think so, yeah.
You've definitely heard of him.
He was a man of the cloth. I don't know what his exact title was.
Yes, he was the Lord Archbishop of Canterbury.
Oh, there's one of them now, isn't there?
There is indeed, yeah.
Yeah. He's like doesn't he do like the royal weddings and all that stuff?
In fact, Henry II. No, sorry, I was thinking about something. Yes, yeah. So he's very high up in the church.
So yes,
I don't know why he was there. Anyway.
But he wasn't happy with this expansion, so he kept smashing up with his cross. So number 10, Arabella Stuart, who was a cousin of James I. So James I was the one that Sir Walter Raleigh didn't want to be king.
So they're all in there. Imagine that.
Yeah.
They'll have a big fight.
She was imprisoned for marrying without permission, and she died under mysterious circumstances. And they say that her weeping ghost is said to haunt the Queen's house in the Tower of London.
Okay.
So, married without consent.
From who? That's very different times. Yeah, I guess.
Well, she was a cousin of the king. Maybe she needed the king. Maybe the king had to approve her marriage.
Yeah.
This political thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe she was meant to.
Good point.
It happens in Game of Thrones, doesn't it? The king of the north marries the wrong woman, and then they all get murdered in the Red Wedding.
That's right. It's a good episode, that, isn't it?
It is a good episode, but it's not real. But it's the same sort of principle, isn't it? You
Absolutely.
know, you're not marrying the right person. You mentioned her. We got the Grey Lady.
There we go. Okay.
So she is just an unidentified ghost that's seen gliding silently through the Queen's house. She's thought to be a former prisoner, and her presence is normally marked by an icy chill. Did you feel an icy chill on Friday night at any stage?
No.
When Mary was coming on to you?
I felt a little bit hot under the collar, actually.
Yeah. Were you wondering whether or not you would, you know?
No.
No.
There's no one there.
It would be... Like, it would have been really incredible if, you know, Thursday night you were telling me you didn't believe in ghosts, and then Saturday night you told me you were like...
You'll never believe what I've seen. Yeah. I would love to see something, or... I don't know, I think this is like a bit of a... like, I'm constantly going, you know what, I'd love to see something, just so I could go, do you know what, I'm not sure now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the flip side, if I did see something, I'd probably be like, I wish I'd never seen that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
then
just
it's real, isn't it?
Well, no, even if I did see something, I'd probably go, no, I was tired, or
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't believe it instantly, but nevertheless, it would kind of make me go, now I can't have any, you know, or I can't be a complete skeptic. Like,
Yeah, there's doubt there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I think the same thing with, like, everyone wants to find life on another planet, but I think if we did, we'd shit ourselves.
Yeah, well, I think we
You know?
mentioned before, some really big scientists out there at some point said there's two possibilities.
Yeah.
Either there's nothing else exists in the universe and we're the only ones, or there is something out there. And both ideas are terrifying.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is exactly true. The Phantom Bear. This is my favourite ghost because this is a big brown bear.
Wow. That'd be the best one to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah, from the menagerie of animals.
Yeah.
It's a spectral bear which appears near the Martin Tower. One guard was so terrified when he saw the ghost of the bear that he died of shock. Like, if I saw a ghost for the first time, it would be shocking, but it'd be less shocking if it was an animal ghost.
Yeah, I know, but
like,
I don't think you die of shock. I think it's just because it was reported of that. I think it's a heart attack, isn't it, or
yeah,
something like that. I don't think it's just like
yeah,
keel over because you're so scared. I think it's something's happened to you there. You know.
Yeah. Can you die of shock?
No, it's like a heart attack or something else. You know, like your blood pressure just goes, or whatever. Yeah, I don't think
you have a weakness in the brain. You have a hemorrhage from the something like that.
Yeah. Surely, I mean, I'm no doctor, and if there's any doctors listening, I'm sure they've got like higher brow podcasts to listen to than this. But if there are any doctors, please do let us know, because I'm pretty sure you can't die of shock.
But I think the body, the reason people faint through shock is the body protecting itself by shutting itself down by fainting, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
It's like the body goes...
because... Well, like it's kind of, you're like hyperventilating, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't get enough oxygen into your blood. I don't know.
And very last, the headless monk. There had to be
another headless one.
Yeah. So a ghostly monk without a head has been spotted near the chapel of St. Peter, silently pacing the grounds. His origins are unclear, but he is believed to have been executed during the Reformation.
Right. Do you think Anne Boleyn lends him her head sometimes?
Possibly. Maybe her arms get tired, so she...
Yeah, do you want to get on that,
to carry about.
Yeah.
Then how does she know where to go? How does he know where to go? If he hasn't got just like walking into the wall, it's like a zombie film.
Flattering around,
So what do you think of the 13 ghosts of the Tower of London?
What
would be your favourite one to see?
I think the only one that I've heard of in the past that there might be something there is the Grey Lady.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of celebrity ghosts because I think it's a bit silly. No, I just don't. You know, oh, it's for Guy Fawkes. Oh, it's Anne Boleyn. Oh, it's this person. What about all the other normal people that died there? And why does it have to be that? So my favourite one, if I'm perfectly honest, is the Grey Lady, because if there's anything in this, it's probably more likely just to be some random.
Yeah. Well, I think we've talked about this before. Like, people go, Anne Boleyn was killed in there, so they go in with this mindset that they want to see a ghost.
Preconception of and it's a spooky place, isn't it? It was a lot of death and well, I've not been, but from what
there was loads of death.
Loads of death, and it's been there for years. It's an old building, loads of people died there, so instantly going, well, if anywhere's going to be haunted, it's going to be this place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the Grey Lady story. I think look it up if for further info if you're interested, listeners, because I'm sure there's been like photographs of the Grey Lady.
Has there?
I'm sure. Well, supposed photographs.
We'll try and get that on the old Facebook page. We can find it.
Yeah, might be wrong. Might be a different one. But yeah, Grey Lady. I like. I've heard a bit about her.
So, I mean, I suppose I've got to ask you this question: do you believe that there are ghosts in the Tower of London?
What have I just been talking about all the way through this podcast? Did you?
I've written that down. Do you believe it's true or not?
I'm not. No. Just to round it off, just to give you the courtesy of an answer, no.
And how boring was it? Was it all right?
It's interesting. There's a lot of history there. It's an interesting place. I probably should go at some point. I'd like to go see it. Yeah, but I'd like to sort of go when no one else was there so it's not pure touristy. I'd like to do a ghost hunt in there. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's one of the problems with these places. You're pacing through. I went to the zoo today because it was the last day that members could get access to the zoo's like 50% bigger now. It's this huge, big African savannah bit that they've opened up. It's like Disney World. It's incredible.
It's big enough as it is.
I know. Well, this is like twice as big now. And today was the last day members could get an exclusive look at it before the common folk get let in. And
paupers.
Yeah, and so it was quite busy for all it wasn't the school holidays, and there were bits where you had to queue to get in.
Wow.
And like you're just pacing in the queue, and you're like, there's a dung beetle. It's still the dung beetle still there. You can't like go from tank to tank and have a look around. You're just following the crowd and just looking at things. And I think when you go to these tourist attractions, we did the reason I was last in London was the Tutankhamun thing where they had all his stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was incredible because he's one of my favourite historical stories.
Your favourite pharaoh.
Yeah, my favourite pharaoh. Just the two things that fascinated me as a kid was the Egyptians in general, and of course Tutankhamun's like the celebrity one, isn't he?
Yeah, the curse of Tutankhamun. Yeah, I've seen that. I actually saw that in Cairo.
That's one of my ambitions because they didn't. Cairo don't let the death mask go.
Yeah,
so you can see everything, but you can't see the gold mask. That doesn't leave Cairo.
Yeah, so I went to Cairo Museum and saw that. Woo, get in your face.
But that and the Mayans. So on my honeymoon, bucket list, I went to Chichen Itza in Mexico and saw the famous pyramid. That was brilliant.
Trump's money.
So we talked about that because I've got that. I showed you the little pyramid, didn't I? That you slagged me for paying $5 for or something.
You got ripped off, yeah.
Yeah, instead of change, I'll give you this. But yeah, when you go to these things, it's just, you're like cattle, aren't you?
I know, and that's the shame, isn't it? Because everyone wants to see it and everyone deserves to have that experience and stuff. And that's, like this savannah thing in Chester Zoo, it'll die down in like 12 months. It'll be normal and you can just walk around normally. And it's a shame when like new things... We can't have anything new, can we? Because everyone just ruins it.
I know.
Like, and the zoo want people to go in because it's generates money.
Absolutely,
money for the zoo, and it's just the world, man. Yeah. It does me head in sometimes.
It was good though. 6 months when it's quiet, I go to Chester Zoo and have a look at it.
Yeah, maybe next summer.
But no, Tower of London. I think I will go. I think I want to go now that I've looked into it a little bit more.
Like I say, it'd be good to do a ghost hunt there, or like late at night or something. That'd be good.
We worked with a flooring company for many years, an Italian flooring company, and I went over to visit the factory and stuff. But the second time we were invited over, my dad took my sister, and instead of going to Perugia where the factory is, they invited them to Rome to this exhibition.
Oh yeah. And
the family are very high up in Italy. In fact, the house that they live in Perugia was one of the Pope's houses at one stage and stuff, and it's serious money, quite a lot of power in Italy, this family. So my dad and my sister got basically an after hours guided tour of the Vatican City, the Sistine Chapel, when all the tourists were gone.
That's incredible.
So it was like a really like private, and they got to sit and eat up on the big theatre thing, the big famous Colosseum.
Yeah,
they got to sit in like an exclusive bit up in that to eat their dinner at night and this proper royal treatment. I got to look at a fucking factory when I went.
Right. Well, that's what money buys you, and that's why we need people to like and subscribe and sign up to the podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
So that one day we can go and sit in the Colosseum and have a private meal in there. So if you've not done already, you do the socials at the beginning of it. Mm-hmm. Get on the YouTube, get on the Spotify, like it, subscribe. Tell your friends. Definitely. Throw us in a coffee if you've not done already. I think a few people have, haven't they? I think maybe something like that. So more people, please, because I want to go to Rome and do that.
Definitely, yes. And we're getting traction. We've grown quite well this week. So thanks everyone that has done that. Do it again. Tell your friends.
Mm-hmm. Spread the word.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill, for your emails. Always appreciate them. Lovely to hear from you,
Bill.
Yes. And for your helped me with some stuff this week. Told him I was depressed about my, illness and feeling a bit down. He sent me a lovely email. So thanks, Bill.
I thought you said he helped you move some stuff.
No, with some stuff.
Oh, right. I thought you'd like being around your house.
Yeah. Nah, he's good lad, Bill.
He is. Thank you, Bill.
Right.
For all your support, and everybody else for all your support. Keep on listening. We do love you a lot. And
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So we'll see you next week. It's been the most dangerous podcast. Thanks, James. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Why did you hurt them? Insane. They're valuable, ugly. What are you running? Get out of here. You have to make them pay. You're crazy. Everyone you love is on the phone. No, they lost their meaning. What are you waiting for? Pathetic. They think they can get away with it. They love it. Escape from this point. It's on your fault. Do it. Get out of here. You hell. Don't let him love me. You're up to it. Try running away. We're trying to get away from them. Coming close. Jump. We're after you. Why did you hurt them? Insane. They're valuable, ugly. What are you running? Get out of here. You have to make them pay. You're crazy. Everyone you love is on the phone. No, they lost their meaning. What are you waiting for? Pathetic. They think they can get away with it. They love it. Escape from this point. It's on your fault. Do it. Get out of here. You hell. Don't let him love you. You're up to it. Try running away. One feet at a time. You must have cut off the chummer. We're trying to get away from them. Coming close.